something to get this party started. All right. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Guess we'll start off with board reorganization. Board president, board vice president, secretary, the corporation treasurer, and school attorney. If we want to just start, I guess we could have a motion for all, or if people want to do it individually, however you want
Madam
to.
President, I was going to recommend that we nominate all current officers, school attorney, and corporate treasurer for the 2026
Just keep them the same.
school year, keep them the same.
All right.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign? All right, motion passes. I guess congratulations to those of you who are serving. All right, now that is done, request approval of governing board dates and times. Looks like we're keeping for the same,
Yeah. Second Thursday of the month.
6
and
o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Board of Finance officers.
Oh, yeah, sorry,
That's okay.
I skipped it.
Those are the
Board of
same.
Finance officers, which really is just you, Cindy, and, right?
Well, I think it's the board officers.
Oh, that's right, okay.
that carry over
So
to the
just carry them
Board of
over, keep them the
Finance.
same. Do I have a motion for
I
the,
make the motion that we keep the current Board of Finance, is that?
Yes.
As it currently exists in 2026.
do we have a second?
I'll second.
Here we go. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. All right, back to board dates and times. Second Thursday, we're on a Thursday, 6 o'clock, if that still works for people here in this room. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Yep.
Do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion, we approve the calendar for C9 regular board meetings, remain as presented. Start at 6.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign? All right, motion passes. Got finished with good stuff there. There's no additions or corrections to the agenda. We have our consent agenda, which includes the finance report and claims, personnel recommendations, minutes for approval, items of action, or not items of action, sorry, I really am moving ahead. Do we have a motion for approval of the consent agenda?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Discussion, we wanna? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. And I assume we're talking about the young man in the room later? Is that on here specifically?
I don't think.
Yeah, it's under
it's
personnel,
already
that's
in the
why I
consent.
wondered. Can we
So
just,
we can talk. You wanna
under
talk?
comments?
Okay, comment.
Okay. Just making sure you're not forgotten. Just,
Thank you.
uh-huh. All right, items of action.
6.1, so our exercise science program our instructor, Mark Rund, is just really active in working with our business partners. And so every new partner he finds, we end up putting some sort of agreement together so that everyone's protected. The Podiatry Associates of Indiana had a really small, short, not very good idea of what they wanted. So we presented that to Michelle Cooper's office, and they said, why don't you use one you've already used, keep it consistent. So they agreed, and so we're using the same language from our last partnership to move forward and keep some of the consistent agreements or policies in there. So this is just us getting approval to use this agreement with the Podiatry Associates of Indiana. We're probably going to have more coming, because Mark just does a really good job getting kids opportunities to get into different locations. So I'm just asking for approval of this agreement to have the kids go in and do really rounds or clinicals, internship hours with this facility.
I had the same kind of question that I had before on this. So there's two different types of insurance required.
Yeah.
Does the previous setup apply already?
Yes, so we already have liability, and then we have the malpractice. So that was a result, if you recall, you brought that up a few months ago, and so we had that all in place, we're good to go.
And the malpractice, I think, has to extend for 2 years following their internship, or whatever you call it, I guess, work experience.
Right.
So,
Yeah, so we're following the requirements here in our policy.
great, thank you.
And then I had a question about point, 1.6.
Okay.
It's just about, like, what are they meaning that they need to have a temporary medical permit or an unlimited license to practice medicine in Indiana? How does students do that?
They wouldn't have that. Being under, but most of them are under 18, or if they are 18, they're still considered students.
Required in the contract, so
Yeah, I think there
1.6.
is that. Because it says the students should have a temporary medical permit. Yeah, I don't think that.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know what, I guess I'll have to table it to work through that particular item.
So you're just gonna send it back to Michelle?
Yeah, because that is, I mean, the students don't have a license.
Should that be a question we ask
Instructor?
the instructor,
Yeah, so I'll have to,
and are they practicing under their license?
and so that would need to be clarified. And that may be what it's supposed to say, but it's not clarified up there. And so we need to make sure, if it's under the license of the instructor, or you're working with a licensed person on site, but the students do not have a license. And that's what would need to be clarified.
there's a provision that they have to be supervised
Yeah.
at all times, but I don't know.
Should that just change from students to instructor?
I would imagine so, but none of us caught it except for Becky, so.
What is his
Um,
license?
Exercise science, athletic training, I don't know exactly the,
That's
That's
not
not
practicing
allowed.
medicine.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Does this agreement come from our attorney or theirs?
It was from another site, another partnership, and so we had used this before with another partner, so we're probably gonna need to pull that one out to look at it, because it would have the same language. So either it's written in a way that it's not supposed to be written, or they're thinking the students are another group of people maybe, because it's not, it doesn't work.
We table this until clarification on section 1.6.
All right, all those in favor to table the agreement until we get clarification? signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. All right, agreement's tabled. All right, 6.2.
Yeah, so, Central 9 is part of the South Central Indiana School Trust, along with, Nineveh Hensley Jackson and Franklin Community Schools. We've recently, out of our normal cycle, we were able to add vision. Central 9 was one of the few schools in the trust that did not offer vision coverage. So, it is out of cycle, so we've had an open enrollment in February for it to start in March. The cost will be on the actual employee, whether they do employee only or family coverage, what have you. It's fairly minimal, but it's a nice package to add if you want to add vision. So what we're asking for is permission to add vision. Then this would be added as a normal approval when we do this in the summer. So
Doesn't this have to be negotiated at contract time?
the total coverage does, well, the who pays for it, yes. But when this was added, we're not, Central 9's not paying for any of it. We're saying the employee would pay.
This is the first time you've offered this.
Yeah, we've never offered it before.
Is there an open enrollment period then for this?
Yeah, so it's actually, it was last week. So, it's something that was approved in December, and, going back in time, should have probably brought this in January, but everything was put out, pretty quickly. And so, I realized that, I had to put this before the board, but it's up today and not in January.
Assuming there's a lot of interest from the employees for this type of coverage.
Yes.
And then next year during open enrollment, they could negotiate you paying a portion, but I mean,
Right.
it really isn't that expensive anyway.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
all right. Do we have a motion for the approval for the addition of vision insurance coverage to benefits package?
I'll move that we approve the addition of the vision insurance coverage to the benefit package.
I'll second.
All right, any other questions? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. All right, motion passes. All right, director's comments.
Yeah, late last week, we got a notice from the governor's office that Governor Braun and Secretary of Education, Dr. Jenner, wanted to visit Central 9. So they came on Tuesday, and I thought it was just gonna be 2 of them, but it was about 15 people. Both Ed and Sheila did join and went on the tour. We specifically picked 4 programs for them to see, but my thought was we're gonna walk through other programs to make sure that they could see more. We ended up seeing about 10 different programs while they were here. Governor asked a lot of questions that I thought helped educate him to understand a little more what a career center is, how many we have in the state. When he was a senator, he was part of the CTE caucus in Washington that was a big promoter of Perkins funding that we receive and we use to buy equipment and employ or pays for some of the salaries of some of our employees. And so it was just a really positive experience. It was a whirlwind tour, but they were able to stop in and see quite a few programs, and I just think it was a really good, I couldn't have asked for it to be a better experience, honestly. So it's worked well.
Which 4 did they want to see?
They were asking for some, well, so early childhood was one, so we made sure that
Sure,
that was
yes.
available. They had an interest in cybersecurity, but our instructor was on a personal day that day, so I decided not to do that one. They were interested in the smart manufacturing, and I explained that
Yeah.
it's not in place yet. We don't have the students, so we said we can show you the room, but, so I did some changing, and we walked through dental, went to HVAC, went to firefighting and EMS, and then the governor mentioned he used to stick weld, so I go, we're as close to welding as we can be, let's go to the welding lab. Then we walked through auto service to go to early childhood, looked at vet careers, walked through biomedical, and then stopped in precision machining, and then ended up at criminal justice. So it was, like I said, a whirlwind, but they got to see quite a few different programs, which was pretty important, and a variety.
I felt like they got a good cross-section of everything that we offered here.
Yeah.
It was a pretty quick visit, but, you know, had a lot of questions. I think they were certainly interested in, actually, talking with them. I was glad that he got to go out, both of them got to go out and see the new welding building.
Yes.
And the firefighting, demonstration there.
Yes.
And then with the ambulance and
Yeah.
treating, you know, within an ambulance and outside. So it was good, weather was good, so, I thought it was pretty well.
Yeah, it was great. I enjoyed it, because there's just a lot I hadn't seen.
Good
You know,
publicity.
yeah.
Good, you know.
Yeah, for sure. There were media people here, but the only thing I've seen is a Chalkbeat article, which has been good. It was a very good, well-written
I think
article.
It's in the Daily Journal tomorrow.
Is it? Okay. Be in the Daily Journal tomorrow. Cindy always knows.
Well, there was a lot of folks, and I don't know who they all were. I know there was
Yeah.
several people taking photos.
Yeah.
I'm sure part of them were the governor's staff and maybe an official photographer and
Yes.
other folks, so.
Dr. Jenner had posted on her Instagram several pictures.
Good.
It was neat, yeah, it was
Yeah.
good to see.
Good.
If you have links to those articles, can you just send them out to everybody so that we
Yes.
can share them with our board? And then when they were out, and I'm sure they probably didn't, but I feel like I need to ask, did they talk about funding at all?
The only thing that was brought up was, how did you pay for that?
Oh,
And so,
yeah.
and a lot of it was, I used Perkins funding to do that,
Yeah.
which is federal funding. You know, for example, the anatomage table, I don't know if you're familiar with
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
It's about $65,000 table that has, you know, you can really explore the human body or animal specimens, like little layers by little layers. And then we had that, the back of an ambulance where they could do stuff, and then that was another question, well, how did you get this, and how much was it, that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. So that was the only funding that was really talked about.
right.
I didn't introduce, I promised I would behave myself, so
Yeah.
I just made sure I only talked about things that were asked about.
Right, yeah, I was just curious, and curious because our funding, because we're separate, and basically a co-op is
Yeah.
different than if it's a CTE associated
Yeah.
with a school, in a school, there's so much
Yes.
more opportunity,
Yes.
so that's different too,
Yeah.
just like the
I didn't
grants
get
that
a
we're
chance to
getting.
get that deep with him on that.
Right, yeah.
He did ask, how many career centers are there like this in the state?
Mm.
And so I just started listing a whole bunch that I knew of, and I tried to also explain that there are other models also.
Yeah.
So, for him being from southern Indiana, there aren't really many career centers down that way. It's more of a co-op structure.
Right.
So, to see this kind of a career center probably isn't as common for him, so, be
Right.
my guess.
Well,
What's the other, what's there, this, for sale, is that?
The Southeastern Career Center,
Yeah, so
um,
that's just a co-op.
and it's actually a career center, the same model we are, a standalone career center.
Okay,
Uh,
okay.
They don't.
I thought
yeah.
so, because I know doing work down there over the years,
Yeah.
there's a lot of schools from, even down in, you know,
Yes.
some of the pocket, right there around Cincinnati, they
Yep.
send kids all the way up there.
Yeah, they have about 13 different schools that send
Yeah.
there, but a lot of them are small,
Yeah, they are.
rural schools. So, I've finished touring and visiting all the superintendents, compiled notes, and then I'm going to put together like a report or common themes that I gathered from that and some action steps. One thing for sure, one commonality was, what are the high schools doing and how far are they getting in certain programs where if they come here, can we make that, like mesh that together where they get to a certain level at the high school and then we kind of take it from there. And right now, we're kind of all over the place because we have 9 high schools. But if we can work towards some consistency and agree that if you're at the high school and you do this to this level, then our jumping off point at the Career Center would be here, that kind of thing. So that's one for sure. And just to continue to work toward that. The other thing that I think came up was, in some respects, there could be a way to possibly, you have programs here, but could there be a second version of the same program at another location? I use the example of North and South. Like maybe this is the South location and maybe there's another one in Marion County and it's the same program, same Central 9 program, but just another option, because we do run out of space, we run out of opportunity for the kids, and maybe that's a way to go. So, and there was, I mean, each conversation was excellent. I had the same questions for all of them, and then we had good discussion beyond that.
Well, building on your first comment about kind of that base level of information, knowledge, skill, and then coming here for like a capstone or the second year or
Yeah.
certifications, whatever we want to call it. I mean, that would be interesting too, to see if some of the partnering schools would want to work together to make sure that their curriculums are more aligned.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of core themes and alignment, but not necessarily together. So, I mean, you're getting kids at different levels and
Yes.
expectations. So, I mean, if you're going to be that capstone year, it would be really important that they're doing their first year
Yeah.
and they're all in the same place when they come here for the second year.
Yeah, quality, consistency
Right.
would be important across the board. And so some of that will be on us to do some research and look at the curriculum guides that each school has, and then see what each one is offering and how far they get, and then also work with curriculum leaders in
Right.
the school districts to start developing that. I don't think it's something we can do in a month or two, but I think over time we
No.
can definitely do that.
And I think it's a good year project,
Yeah,
right?
right.
To start with certain
Yes.
programs.
One that comes to mind is construction.
Right.
Another one is culinary. So those are two right off the bat we could really work on,
Right.
because there are a lot of schools offering versions of both of those.
Mhm. Yeah. No, that's a good point.
Yeah, that kind of diverse too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, obviously.
Where you're starting at, starting point's one place, another.
Yeah.
It's a great conversation.
I will say we were also, tonight's an open house. It's the reschedule from the weather. I think starting at 5:30, we already had more people here than we had all of December's night. And it's just, they keep coming in. So it's been a really good night for the open
Awesome.
house. If we do end before 7, if you want to check out a program, it's a great time. That's why we didn't do a program showcase, because all the programs are being showcased tonight. And then I guess I would like to also bring up that after 36 years, John Showalter, our facilities director, is retiring. So I think it was a little bit of a surprise even to Laura that he's doing it so suddenly. But he knows this campus better than anyone, and probably better than anyone ever will. So it's a really great night for him to be able to, leave on his own terms and retire. And we're coming back in March with a proposal to maybe keep him connected. So, but we're just really excited for him, and it's a bittersweet moment because there's, John Showalter's been a part of this campus for 36 years, so it's a big deal.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations. Appreciate it.
It's nice to meet you.
Hey, I want to tell you honestly, it's been such an honor and a blessing, and the
seeing the growth of this campus and the facilities, what we can offer the students, the new programs all the time, it's truly an honor to be part of Central Valley. And I don't know either, so I want to be a part of it all the rest of my life. With that being said, none of this would be possible without you guys. None of it. So thank you.
Well, I just want to say, we talked a little bit about you during the executive meeting, because you know that's what executive meetings are for, is talking about personnel. And we all said just, I mean, how honored we are to have you here, and that you basically do it all. I mean, as far as facility and grounds and contracting, all of it. And speaking for the board, just how fortunate we feel that you have been that stable person for so long. I mean, none of us obviously have been here for that long. Well, maybe you guys, I don't know. But for my on and off 16 years of being affiliated with Central 9, I mean, just knowing and having that confidence, and when we've had trouble, or I shouldn't say trouble, but barriers through COVID and shortages with supplies and whatever, knowing that you were there and that we could rely on you to get us through to the finish line. I couldn't ask for a more stable, reliable person to get us there. So I thank you for all that you have done. I hope that we see you again in March or after, or whenever you take your sabbatical and retire. So we are looking forward to a continued relationship with you, and we still have your other half. I don't know if she's better or equal or whatever. You're not getting rid of us.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Really
So.
appreciate it.
Those are my comments. I know Mike's gonna put up the students of the month. And then our upcoming events leading up to the next board meeting, spring break. Mike, you want to start with the?
All right, what do you have for us with your
All right.
dazzling Valentine's socks?
My Valentine's socks. Requested.
I know. Festive.
In terms of staffing, we are seeking a smart manufacturing instructor. We have 2 applicants, so hopefully we can secure someone for next school year. In January, a group of us went to the School Safety Summit in Indianapolis at the JW Marriott. Learned a lot about behavioral threat assessment and management. The team got with Clark Pleasant's police department actually to look at their processes, and we kind of borrowed a lot of what they do to make something work here. We're kind of unique in that we partner with 9 other high schools, so should we have a situation, we would definitely reach out to your schools and kind of put that person in on the team, and perhaps even turn it over to your schools with input from our team as well. For professional learning, this month we're focusing on a Buddhist Zen concept called Shoshin, which basically means beginner's mind. So looking at subjects with openness, curiosity, and 0 preconceptions. Through that, there's a new chance to learn who we teach, how we teach, and what we teach. And this will kind of be used as a building block to Ghost Walks, which we'll introduce at the end of February. Hopefully get some teachers out doing that for the rest of the semester into next week. For enrollment, registration's been underway for a couple of months. Secondary applications are being sent to students in those programs that require transportation, early childhood, exercise science, and pre-nursing. And those interviews for those 3 programs will take place in early March. Update from Student Services. Dual credit enrollment for the 2nd semester has wrapped. National Technical Honor Society applications are due tomorrow. And then Mrs. Carpenter will start sorting through all of that for an induction ceremony next month. And school visits continue for school exploration. Mrs. Teeter's been going out to middle schools, and Mrs. Carpenter's been working with Mrs. Bickerstaff on recruitment. In terms of evaluation, Mr. Braden and I are in our 2nd round for 2nd semester. Any questions?
Couple. For the smart manufacturing instructor, when are you thinking of that person starting? Would it be in summer or?
In the summer, we have a 2 to 3 day new teacher orientation. So we would obviously give them keys and support them along
Yeah.
the way, but official introduction would be mid-July. And then teachers on the first day.
Okay.
Hoping to do interviews in the spring, probably mid-April, and get somebody secured by May.
Okay.
Just in a short, what's the requirement for that position?
You thinking of applying?
No.
Just, you know.
Smart, even if it's smart in, it's probably
Or.
So they would need to have 5,000 hours in the field within the last 5 years. So basically that
Okay, so
comes
the
to
field,
2.5 years. So it's manufacturing,
okay, just manufacturing in general.
yes,
Okay.
or it could be in robotics, could be in engineering, could be in welding, could be in precision, depending on what their background and experience is in
So
those
exactly,
fields.
the equipment that we have over there, I know we went through there, but it's been a while.
Yeah.
Exactly, what is that equipment designed to do?
So they're module-based, but they are like actual, you go to station one and you might be working with electronics and you're learning how to, I don't know, wire something appropriately. Then station two might be a pneumatics lab, and station three might be a cobot or robot that you're programming to sort or move like different colored blocks certain places, so that.
is there, programs, computer
Yeah.
programs that align with those machines
Yeah.
that?
So we have all the software, we have all the equipment for the full first year of the program. We can go more advanced, but right now, we're just sticking with the 1 year, which would get us, from the state, we're trying to get to what's called concentrator status. It allows you to check that box for graduation. So you get enough of the experience that if a student comes here and that's one of the pathways they're getting to graduate, the kids can qualify for that. So going through that first year, that we'll get that, and we'll also align with Ivy Tech for college credit. And there are some Industry 4.0 certifications that line up with that too. So it's a program that's not really out there much at this point, but there are some examples. We go right across the street to Anderson Hauser. Kids who do this would feed into Anderson Hauser really well.
I guess if there's a program somewhere else
Yeah.
like this, I mean, what type of background would that an instructor have there? Would it be something like robotics, or
Yeah.
would it be, CNC machines?
Could be.
Injection molding,
Yeah.
that all that?
Yeah. So I don't know if we'll find a generalist who knows a little bit of everything, or we'll get someone who's more specific in one area, but is willing to get some training in some of these other areas. They might be really good in one, but could do some of the others too. And so that's part of our search. So you just don't know until we get there. And there's training available on all the modules, so we can make sure that whoever we hire, if they're really good on 3 or 4 or 5 of them, if there's 3 or 4, they're like, well, I know about that, but I'm not really, they can get more training to skill up on that.
Not my background, but I mean,
Right.
somebody that could be, retired, or, an instructor or something, so the applicants are pretty strong applicants?
We have 2 quality applicants.
That's good.
That's awesome. One other, for the threat assessment, you mentioned possibly partnering with our other schools. Do you meet with them at all throughout the school year, or?
We do, yeah.
Okay.
So Bill meets with superintendents, I
Okay.
meet with principals. We actually met yesterday. And I did talk about this with them, so they're kind of aware to be
Okay.
on call should
And then I know some of you don't know that there have been a couple of threat assessments over the years, and the handling of those has been just stellar, so. I mean, you know, this is a big campus and keeping track of kids and it's just, it's difficult, so. Anyway, that was all.
Thank you.
All right, anybody else before we go on to adult education? Oh, you can stand up. We're ready for you.
Okay. So my first thing up is our personnel report. So I ask for your approval of the personnel report.
All right, do you have a,
I'll move that we approve the adult ed personnel report.
Second.
any questions? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. All right, you got 3.
Our next thing up is a status of adult ed funds. So Dr. Kovach asked that some of you had asked for this. So I just thought I'd go ahead and put it together now. And Scott, you can appreciate, Paul put the together. I said, make it short and concise. So this is what we get, short and concise from Paul.
Kind of impressed with 25 slides. One of them's the intro slide.
So he did pretty good. I won't read it to you unless you want me to read all that to you, but I think what you might be looking for is, if you keep going a little bit further, Mike, this one, is what I think you might be looking for. If this is not what you're wanting and you're wanting something else, please let me know. This is what I took that you guys were asking for. And Paul does this already for us, so we already had it. We just haven't ever shared it with you. So it's pretty simple to read. I can read it for you to kind of tell you what it means. Again, this is state only, no federal dollars yet. Our federal money just got fully executed last week, so you're not going to see any federal dollars up here yet because we haven't been allowed to spend them. So it's just state. So you can kind of see the beginning budget, the reimbursements for the month. So if you look at July and August, we didn't reimburse anything because we weren't allowed to because they weren't fully executed. So if you go to September, September's really for 3 months there. And he meaning Paul, likes to set the goals over here of where we should be, so it kind of tells you where we're at money-wise, spending-wise. So December, halfway through, we've spent 44% of the state budget, and Paul thinks we should be at 50. So that makes sense. And again, if you want something else, let me know.
So what could you be doing to spend that other 6%? What?
Well, we can add more classes, we can buy more supplies, kinda hate to spend a lot in the first because you don't know what may happen in the second half semester, so I'd rather be this way than the other way. So,
Were these grants assuming a certain enrollment for ELL that did not come?
that's a good question. The state grant does not assume probably much ESL. The federal would, some. And we didn't have an enrollment goal, so yeah.
So there's no like audit of well, you didn't meet your number, so give us that money back or something, or?
No,
Okay.
no. But we do have to spend this between July 1 and June 30th. And how you do, so they take where you're at, I'm gonna say in December, and kind of forecast out to see what you might get next year. But it's all a little muddy this year because we didn't have funds, we had funds, and then we did, now we don't, now we do again. So it's a little weird. And usually they give us goals, but they haven't given us goals this year. So
So would that mean that the forecast for next year is 90% of the budget for this year,
and I have no idea how they're gonna do it. Mhm.
Would you please provide this slide, and if maybe Paul could show a chart on how we're tracking to the next slide on paying back and making sure we're on track? Can you go to the next slide?
Yep.
And making sure we're on track to meet the goals.
To meet the 60,000 goal, yes?
Yep.
So you just want that added to that previous slide?
In a separate column, or you
Sure.
can create a separate chart, doesn't make any difference.
Yep.
I mean, I'm sorry, can somebody remind me what Fund 3200 is?
It's adult, it's general fund.
General fund.
It's
Okay.
not grant related.
So he's anticipating a $20,000
He is
surplus in that fund,
for this year. That's where as he's tracking our,
and that's because we've only spent probably 44%.
well, we also, the 3,200, we have some people who do self-pays in
Oh.
some of our classes, not very many. But our CNA class this year was not funded at all through a grant.
Okay.
So it was a self-pay this year, first time we've done that in a long time. And then, when our students take the high school equivalency test, we get reimbursed back through the state, but we also have some self-pays that don't wanna be enrolled with us, they just wanna come and pay the $146. So we make a little bit off of them as well.
So,
Michelle,
my,
you may wanna have Paul change that 1,700, the fund 1,700,
Okay,
that's our building trades fund.
oh, it was,
The fund that it goes into is 1,710.
Okay.
Just so the board's
Okay.
aware.
thank
so it's
you.
just a typo. So my questions, which maybe he can do next month, is how we're doing spending down those prior year. So the full,
6, 7, 7.
yeah, 677,556. How we're spending all, or not spending it down, or
Oh, we're paying it down.
yeah, how we're paying, not even paying it back. I don't even know how we're balancing the books, right?
Okay,
So, and my specific, one of my questions, which is why I got it, why it was raised by me at least. So if I look at, and I'm sure there's an easy explanation, last year, which is the 24-25, oh, maybe it's balanced now.
it is now, it wasn't the last month,
Okay,
you're right.
so why was that though? Because that should have been balanced last month too. Were you
It
just
should have been, but
lagging?
if you remember, we had someone getting paid out of that, account that shouldn't have been, and then that's why we had to move funds.
I
But
don't think
wasn't that
was as
past
much
due?
as- I think the problem was that Paul had taken to the board to move money and then it didn't get moved
Oh,
in that month. The
That is-
560,
you're right about that.
whatever,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
I think that was the biggest, when that balance showed up on
Uh-huh.
there, he just hadn't moved the money that the board had approved.
okay. So we had
Right.
approved it, but it wasn't showing up yet because he hadn't done
He hadn't-
whatever he needed to do to get it actually
Make it
into the
balanced.
system.
You're
If
right,
I'm-
you're right.
Okay.
You're right.
Okay. So I do think that would be helpful for us to see that those balances are going
So,
up or
Well,
down, whatever you
yeah.
want to
Well,
call
you
it.
can see it on the financial too, that's all the accounts, the account balances for this last month, but financial 3 is where you see $5,000 coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see it growing. 1,700 seems like it's,
1710.
1710,
okay.
Sorry.
Oh, it is growing, never mind.
Yep.
1,710 is
Right.
growing.
'Cause
Right, yeah, that one's growing. I didn't
Yeah,
know
was
where
going
it
down
was,
in value,
how
1,700, so-
far it was gonna grow. Now that answer is there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So
okay.
we're gonna do it once a year.
Once a year,
Right.
yes.
And last time it was like, okay, well now we're gonna have 20,000, what are we gonna do with it?
Yeah,
But yeah, so we're gonna leave it to the end of the year and then we're gonna,
unless you'd like him to do something else. He suggested
I
once a
don't-
year.
I
so.
personally don't care, as long as we have a plan and we all know and agree to it.
Is there an
But
upper limit
I'm
to how
not the
much we can
financial-
claim for utilities on this? Like,
so we agreed to an amount, but then we said if there was an availability and it made sense.
Well, and I think how we
Right.
came to that or the amount that we came to, the 5,000, we met with Paul, and I ran a year's worth of utilities.
Mm-hmm.
Then he divided that out to see about what would fit with their
Right.
budget that they could start paying back, and that's how we
Right.
arrived at the $5,000. But I can tell you, our utilities have gone up significantly. So I don't know when the next point is that Paul will want another year's worth of utilities run, but they've gone up.
Right,
Of course,
so-
I'm sure you all know at your schools, they've gone up.
Right, so that may go back to the question of how do we spend that additional 7% or whatever that balance was. It may be that we're looking back then at the utility bill
And I
and
don't know if
saying,
there is
is that a
limit
fair amount?
of the amount for the month either.
Right.
The question, that's a good question. I don't know if there is an amount.
It felt to me like one reason for waiting till the end is to also look at if there is a little more flexibility, to maybe do a little more than 60,000 or whatever that total will be, that they would have the ability to do so. But if not, we know we can count on this. And at this rate,
Only 10.5 years.
yeah, I was gonna say 10, 11 years, so that's what you're looking at. I mean, it is
Yeah.
at least progress, and it's a way to take care of it. It's,
Yeah,
it's
and show
not,
Board of Accounts that
it's not
we're-
quick,
yeah.
but it's a way to take care of it.
Right,
I mean, on one hand, it took us 8 years to get to the 677.
Yeah.
We're gonna figure out how to pay it back in 10.5. That's a
That's
whole
right.
lot quicker than I was anticipating when this conversation started.
yeah. I just wanna make sure there's good documentation, we're doing what we need to do, so that when we get audited again, which is probably next year, that we can show them exactly what we're doing,
Mhm.
and everybody's signed off on it.
The other piece is how to make sure that this gets passed down to the
Right.
future people sitting in this room.
Right.
Yeah.
7 years from now.
Yeah, or one, or two,
Right.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
is it possible then that each year, once, like if you're asked to run the utilities again, that each year that $5,000 could change if there's the money, that's basically what you're saying.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
if there's the
there.
money.
So kind of the tricky part about this is, and Dr. Kovach and I have talked about this, that your funding is based on our performance, so it's kind of tricky. When you take, I don't want this to sound wrong, but, so you serve less people when you take money away. So, we don't want to get ourselves too much in a hole, because then I won't have anything to run classes or pay back.
Right.
So,
Right.
it's a balance that, right now, we're fine to do this. So, I think it's a good to look at it every time we get a new budget to see, and Paul is good at figuring all that out. Yeah, yeah.
There might be
I-
years that it's less than that.
There might be, and
Could
then
be.
there might be other times where we get a lot more. So, yeah. So I appreciate that flexibility and your understanding of that part. So what I heard is we need to change it to 1710, which is, you're right, good catch, Cindy. And then adding about, what was the other thing? Sorry.
Taking this sliding, adding it either as a column in the other
Uh-huh.
chart, or maybe this is its own chart that shows, here's the deficit, here's how much has been paid back.
Even though we're only gonna pay back once a year?
Yep.
Okay.
Right now,
Okay.
1710 has a balance of $15,000. Year to
It
date
should have
says
been, it was
20,000.
15,000 last
Well, it's
month, so it
Beginning
should
of
be
the
at
month,
least
20,000
20.
after this
Yeah,
month,
and
okay.
January 31st,
Yeah.
and then tonight's claims, there's another
Yeah,
5,000
so it'll be up
paid
to,
towards
yeah.
it. So it'll be at 25,000
Okay.
as of the end of February. So, and then when Paul decides to move it, then you'll be able to see on that line item, it'll come out.
Which you will know because you'll have to ask permission to move it,
Yes.
so. Okay.
how that works, but it's useful.
Sure.
Yeah, and I think that can go with kind of what I was saying is if we can just have the balance, kind of the same kind of thing she did on the earlier slide for the balances, but do the priority, so the same thing. Is he paying?
Okay. I know he.
Low
likes-
hanging fruit?
Yeah,
Is he
he likes
doing
to get rid of the
oldest,
little ones.
oldest to newest? How's he doing it? And then even just like a quarterly update, he could just put on, how are we doing? I don't think we need to see it every month, cause we can see it, but maybe, you know, every 3 months, you just say, hey, look, just in case you're not looking at your budget sheets, here's where we are,
Okay,
and we're getting there.
so you don't want this every month, you want this quarterly?
Unless you
prefer
want,
it monthly,
okay,
because
Yeah,
when
that's
you,
fine
if
then.
you do something outside
Okay.
of a monthly,
then we
it's
forget.
forgotten. and
Okay, yeah,
Okay, perfect.
there you
We may
go.
not
Scott's
talk about
giving
it.
you work to do.
We may not talk about it monthly.
No,
At
just
least we
throw
can
it
see
on there,
Yeah,
Okay.
okay,
toss it on.
I know it said in this pack too that the grants for 25, 26, was it 24, 25, were zeroed out,
yes,
is that right?
yes.
Some of them are showing a balance still, so is that just like something that has to be reclaimed later from the
And
state?
I
Like,
look over your shoulder.
yeah, like this 562.71, that's from last year, right?
Yeah, sorry.
24, 25?
Yeah, that is,
I don't
Oh.
know,
that's a current,
the current balance, okay, sorry. Okay.
yeah.
Looking at the wrong part,
Yep,
never
that's
mind,
okay.
beginning balance for the month, okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Good catch,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yep. Okay. You ready to go on? Okay. Next thing up, I think, is the COABE scholarship. So last month, you approved 10 of our staff members to go to COABE, which is a national conference, but only it's here in Indianapolis this year. I was asking for approval last month because we wanted to get the early bird registration fee, and I didn't have all the answers for you. So I got guidance from DWD, Department of Workforce Development, they are giving us $1,000 apiece, so a $10,000 for our 10 staff members to attend. And then we had some questions, so here's what we can use it for. The funds is a COABE registration, hotel, which we're not staying in the hotel, travel expenses, food while traveling, or food while we're there for the day. And the scholarship has to be used for one of the 10 who go. So, any of the unspent, we won't spend it all. We won't spend all the money, and we will then have to give that back to them.
Bummer.
Well,
Well, I was hoping we could spend it on like the substitute teacher. I mean, I know you didn't,
Yeah.
you said we don't really do substitute,
we
but
don't, but yeah, so,
we could have.
we do.
We could have had Ed coming in. He's looking for a new work.
Well,
No, I hear.
Extended training. I was thinking about maybe you can come in for some instruction.
We could do that. So I don't think this needs voted on, I just wanted to share with
Okay.
you the answers to the
Yeah,
questions.
thank you for the
So,
clarification.
Yeah, yeah. And I think, next is our enrollment, of where we're at compared to where we've been in the past. We're at 365. We're at 365. People are enrolling again, it's kind of moving along a little bit. But our English language learners are slow to come back. And then here's our success story. This, I think this is a young lady, I'm not sure by the name now
Yeah.
that I'm looking at. Yeah, it was a young lady, and she did not want her picture, so.
I enjoy these, thanks for,
Do you?
I do,
Okay.
yeah.
I do too.
Good.
Yep.
Thank you. I think that's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. All right, public comments? Anything else to say?
I don't think so.
Board member comments?
I don't have it, well, I just want to tell a quick story. My daughter works at Clark Pleasant, and there's a new scam going around targeting teachers. It was a first-year teacher, and they called the main office. So they weren't calling her cell phone, they called the main office, and of course, the high sense of urgency. So they go pull the teacher out of class. She comes down, and the assistant principal has her in and puts it on speaker. He claims to be with the sheriff's department. She missed a jury duty, a court date, and there's a warrant out for her arrest, and she has to call, but she was out, and she actually withdrew and she's like, I gotta call my dad. You know, she's like 22 years old. You know, she's like, I gotta call my dad. They didn't want her to hang up. They didn't want her, you know. And so they're telling her like $6,000, go to the courthouse. And she's like, I don't have that money. So she ended up getting like $3,500. And before she like actually, I think, parted with the money, I'm not sure. My daughter said this part was a little sketchy, but she finally realized, and she hung up. But when she came back to school, I mean, she left school. She was driving around town, going to these like ATMs, and you know, but I mean, they called the main office, and they had so it's like, but evidently, they tried several other schools, I think, within Whiteland, and so so you might want to share that with your corporation.
They did. They talked to me for about 30 minutes before ever mentioning money. So I got in my car, and then as soon as I got in my car, they told me I couldn't leave until they went over my options. And when they mentioned the money, that's when I hung up.
But they knew where she worked, they knew her name,
They knew
and she had just moved, so she thought, well, maybe it got lost in, address forwarding, and, so, it's crazy.
No, I'm just, good luck finding me. Huh, well, good to know. Well,
Oh, yeah.
if there's ever a sense of urgency, just say no.
Yeah.
I do enough computer.
But yeah, as soon as she hung up, she tried calling back that number, and,
Huh.
so.
Wow, good information. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, cause
I'll have to let our
and she's
teachers
young,
know.
but they call the main office, usually they're like,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, my gosh. So, and of course
That's
then,
original, because they get a staff directory, they find it online.
Oh,
sure,
yeah.
she's
Find the
young,
teacher's name,
yeah,
Huh.
You can find anybody's address from there.
yeah, and she's young,
Poor thing.
yeah,
Huh.
she came back and my daughter said she was just bawling,
Oh.
yeah, it was just awful.
Huh.
So,
All right, anybody
Yeah.
have anything else? All right, 7:03. Calling it.